Newcastle fans, let me ask you right off the bat. Do you trust that this squad, as it is, can handle the pressure of the final stretch of the season? Because behind the scenes, the club has made it clear that it can't. The January transfer window has become a priority, and two moves are beginning to paint a picture that could change the team's course in the coming months. On one hand, a young European talent who is attracting attention for his incredible maturity. On the other, a star who may be approaching an unexpected departure. Stay with me until the end, because these two stories are more connected than they seem. Newcastle is closely watching Joaquin Sees, one of the fastest rising young players in European football right now. At 20 years old, the Belgian has already played over 70 professional games for Club Brugge, something very rare for someone of that age at a competitive club in the Champions League. The question is straightforward. Why is Newcastle so interested now? The answer lies in the team's current situation. Despite some recent Premier League victories, that frustrating 0-0 draw against Wolves stalled an important climb up the table. And everyone knows the weight that qualifying for the next Champions League carries, not only sportingly, but financially. Missing out can be costly, very costly. It is in this context that Saiz's name emerges strongly. According to the Daily Mail, Newcastle has already made inquiries and is closely monitoring the player's performance. Last season, he established himself in the Belgian league, gaining ground game by game. This season, he has taken an even bigger leap. He played in the Champions League, scored decisive goals, provided assists, and was a key player in Brugge's campaign. And there's more. This accelerated growth has already earned him a call-up to the Belgian national team. Debuting for the Red Devils at 20 years old is no small feat. This places Saiz at the level of a ready young player, not just a distant promise. Another point that greatly pleases Eddie Howe is his versatility. Saiz plays as a right back, but also adapts well to other defensive positions. And here lies the central issue. Newcastle urgently needs solutions in defense. Injuries have plagued the squad, improvisations have become routine, and long-term planning can no longer be postponed. Kieran Trippier is approaching 35. His contract is nearing its end, and no one within the club is considering keeping him for much longer. Tino Livramento is currently the starter. Lewis Hall plays on the other side. But what happens when someone gets injured? Who fills the burden? That's where Saiz becomes even more relevant. Young, competitive, aggressive in attack, and with the potential to be a key player in the coming years. The question is simple. Will Newcastle act now, or risk losing this talent to another European giant? While a young player may arrive, another big name could be leaving: Anthony Gordon. Yes, that's right. Newcastle is willing to listen to high offers for the striker, something that seemed unthinkable just a few months ago. The reason? A drop in performance. Gordon's season is far from what was expected. Against Wolves, for example, his performance was so lackluster that it frustrated even the fans who traveled to support the team. And this hasn't gone unnoticed internally. Liverpool and Arsenal are keeping a close eye on him. These are clubs that have admired Gordon for a long time and are monitoring any openings in the market. According to Mick Brown, former head of scouting at Manchester United, Newcastle is starting to seriously consider selling him while his market value is still high. Here comes an uncomfortable but necessary question. Is Newcastle getting everything it can out of Gordon? Internally, there's a feeling that it isn't. The potential is enormous, but the final result doesn't match. Few goals, poor decisions on the final pass, crosses below expectations for someone with his speed and skill. Eddie Howe still trusts the player, but the club is looking at the financial situation pragmatically. PSR and financial fair play issues continue to put pressure on the team. A large sale could unlock important moves in the market, especially in defense, the area most affected by recent injuries. With Liverlato out for weeks, Schär is only expected to return in April, and Dan Burn is still recovering his rhythm. The squad is stretched to its limit. And Football Insider itself has already revealed that Newcastle is looking for a center back and a left back before the transfer window closes. The logic is clear: sell well to better rebuild. But wouldn't letting go of Gordon now weaken the attack too much? Or is this precisely the right time to turn the page before his value drops? Newcastle is at a decisive moment. On one hand, They are betting on young players like Joaquin Sayes to secure a solid future. On the other, they are considering sacrificing a star to balance the books and reinforce critical areas of the squad. These are not simple decisions, and each move can directly impact the team's performance in the Premier League and beyond. Now I ask you, would you bet on a young defender with a promising future, or would you hold on to Gordon hoping for a turnaround in performance? The window is open, the clock is ticking, and Newcastle needs to act intelligently, because this season, mistakes can cost much more than 3 points. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel.